will you be staying inside to watch The Boys Season 4 or go out to the theater to watch the new Inside Out? A new See It or Skip It starts right now.
See it or skip it. See it or skip it. See it or skip it.
Welcome to a new episode of See It or Skip It, where first we're going to be talking about Inside Out 2. This is the continuation from the 2015 film and takes place with Riley going into her pre-teens. She's turning into a 13-year-old and is faced with a lot of different challenges. Her friends might be moving on to a different school. She's trying to join this hockey club that she's very excited about but very nervous about as well. And we have our returning emotions with joy, sadness, disgust, and fear. But they're facing off with a new group of emotions led by anxiety, embarrassment, boredom, and envy. Joy is now having to battle for the control for Riley between her and anxiety, while Riley is also having to deal with her similar issues. And Pixar is doing what it does best, bringing in emotion, heart, and laughter in a unique concept that anybody can watch and enjoy. This is a perfect summer film to watch with your kids. If you have any that are in the age range that Riley is in, it's definitely going to be one that they will remember and love this film. From the gorgeous visuals to the laugh out loud moments, Pixar again shows us why they're able to do these films so well, bring emotion and heart both to kids and adults, but also bringing in a unique story that goes in directions you don't necessarily see coming. There are so many inside jokes, especially when they go into Riley's mind. Much like what we saw with the first film, they're doing a lot of puns, a play on words, and the exploration of what a child's mind is like is done very well here. I love the world of Inside Out and how they explore the mind and how they explain it in the Pixar way that they do. I like how they mess with different animation styles in this, whether it's 2D animation, 3D, or in some cases, PlayStation 1 level graphics. It all adds to the story, really enhances everything, and are some of the best moments of the film. The balance in the story between following Joy's character and the other emotions, while also following Riley in the real world situations, is done so well here. They're able to balance it perfectly. They're able to make it seem like there's a lot at stake between both sides of this world, and when they come together in the end with the finale, really leaves you feeling completely fulfilled and satisfied and wanting to watch more. I don't want to spoil too much of the jokes because I can't do it as well as Pixar can, but I can tell you that this is definitely one that you should see in a theater, definitely for the beautiful visuals, definitely for the great story. Does it hit the emotional heights that the first Inside Out did? I don't necessarily think it did, but at the same time, I don't think it was aiming for that. What they were trying to do here is tell a good balanced story between Riley and the emotions, and they did a great job there. That's why I'm giving Inside Out 2 a See It. And luckily enough, I was able to have a conversation with one of the animators for the film, Matt Majors, take a look at what we talked about and what were the biggest challenges when animating these emotions. What were some of the big things that you were doing with Inside Out 2 that might have been different from the first film? What were some of the evolutions in animation that were being featured in the sequel that were more of a task?
I spent almost my entire time on the movie animating anxiety. Okay. And she was a fantastic rig to animate. I would say the thing that was the newest about her was just her mouth. We haven't done a mouth like that before. It took a lot of controls. She has a lot of teeth. Like, her mouth had more controls in it than one of our normal characters has, and that was just for her mouth. So I'd say for her, that was without a doubt the largest challenge.
Up next is the A24 film Tuesday, starring Julia Louis-Dreyfus as a mother who is coming face to face with death in the form of a shape-shifting, size-shifting, talking bird. If that premise didn't sound insane to you, just wait till you watch the movie. Her daughter Tuesday is getting close to the point where she's going to pass away. She's suffering from a terminal illness that's rendering her almost completely unable to move on her own. She has to have help and assistance pretty much in all of her life. So when this bird shows up, it's almost a welcome for her, and she does help this bird with a lot of stuff. The bird who represents death is dealing with a lot of inside voices of people wanting him to come and relieve them in a sense, whether it be emotional distress, depression, physical ailments, or just an accident that causes them to need to die at that point. The bird is there to help facilitate that, and how they show the need for this bird to do that is very fascinating. She's able to have some type of power over him that alleviates some of the noises in his brain, to which he decides, because she was able to do that, he's going to give her a chance to say goodbye to her mom. Now, whether or not the mother is going to allow any of this to happen once she finds out exactly how she is going to pass and who is doing that, we don't know for sure. And it's up to her to decide whether or not she's going to say goodbye in the right way or fight as hard as she can to keep her daughter and stop fate, even though fate is still going to happen regardless of what she does. I love the premise of this film, and I love the way that it was written and directed. It almost feels like a fable in some ways, where there's moments that feel very raw and real, but there's other moments that almost feel like you're watching a poem being put to screen. This is an exploration of grief, an exploration of letting go to things that you have to at some point, and how to navigate moving on from the loss of somebody. And Julia Louis-Dreyfus delivers probably her best performance of her career. She's absolutely astounding in this, and definitely something that when it comes to award season, I will be making sure she's written in for nominations because she absolutely deserves it. An incredible performance. The chemistry she has with her daughter is so palpable and so real that by the end, you're left with tears streaming down your face and really a full heart, because not only did it make you sad in a lot of ways, but also makes you feel fulfilled and happy because of how well they were able to flesh out these characters and their moments together. Overall, this is a great film. It definitely needs to be seen in the theaters. It's got great performances, a very unique story that I think might sound strange to anybody if you were just giving the premise, but once you go in and you give it a shot, you are going to go out of the theater feeling so good, and definitely this is a see it. And finally, The Boys Season 4 is on Prime Video right now, and they are continuing the story of Homelander versus Huey versus the boys versus superheroes and all of the things that come into that, whether it be crazy subversions of superhero tropes that we come to know and love now, to some of the raunchiest, most bloody, disgusting moments that we've probably seen in The Boys since Season 2. But the sad thing with Season 4 is it doesn't feel like a lot of momentum is being moved in the story, and not a lot of stakes really matter. And it almost makes this season feel like it's a bit of a filler season before now and the finale, which they've confirmed is going to be happening in Season 5. Now, there's a lot to love about this season. I do love the dynamics between Homelander and his son, and how his son is seeing Homelander, as well as Butcher, who is kind of a surrogate father in some ways. I love seeing how Butcher is handling his mortality, but again, not a lot of stakes, because at the end of the day, at the end of the season, it feels like it kind of resets and we're back to square one again. The same bag of tricks are being used in Season 4 that have been used since the first season, and eventually they start to feel stale, and I wish they would have done a little more to flesh out moments and maybe subvert expectations that they've set themselves in The Boys. I still think there's a lot of humor, I still think there's jokes that land, and I do love these characters, but I want to see momentum, I want to see stakes, and I want to feel like they're not safe. So not the strongest for me. To me, I feel like Season 1 and Season 3 are the strongest The Boys seasons, but that doesn't mean that you should skip this one if you've been invested in this show. If you're just wanting to start with Season 4, which I don't know why you would, it's probably a skip it, but go see it. Tell me what you think as well if you've watched The Boys. I want to know your thoughts down below. And that about does it for this episode of See It or Skip It. Make sure that you stay tuned later this week, as we're going to be talking to the director of The Bike Riders, Jeff Nichols, as well as reviewing that and the Trigger Warning film that's out on Netflix, and maybe the Exorcism film with Russell Crowe. We'll see. Make sure you check us out on abc4.com. Go to the See It or Skip It tab on the Shows tab, and you can check out more reviews, interviews, and news. Once again, I'm Patrick Beatty. Thank you so much as always for watching, and I will see you at the next review.
See it or skip it. See it or skip it. See it or skip it.